in the Philippines that we are hearing the draft.
Yeah.
The draft might have started.
Always
In
on the
LFL,
way.
I hear Matilda.
have a chance to break 3 curses back to back to back.
Okay, what's the curse?
First curse. Wait, gotta do the no host country. No host country has ever won the M series. And also, number 2, mirror curse. Number 3, 2-time.
So now, we live in a world where there's a possibility
There is
that AP brand
AP bread.
is a curse breaker,
Yes.
breaking the curse of the host country, and then being the 2-time world champion. With that being said, we're jumping into the draft where AP brand have the momentum. They have the first game win. ONIC,
Time
this
to
is
draft.
their moment. This is their chance. If they want to keep in the game, if we want to make sure it's not a 4-0, they got to win this one.
Momentum is big, especially when AP Brand gets it. We saw even in the game itself, when they got that snowball rolling, it was almost impossible to derail it. ONIC this time with first pick.
Oh, they instantly pick up the Joy. AP Bren, are they going to be picking up the Valentina, which is the typical answer to the Joy? And then the Fredrin that we saw, they utilized so well for the side of AP Bren. Because the thing with Fredrin against Joy is obviously the Joy will be able to get away from the Fredrin, but once you get on top of the Joy, you're going to be A-okay because of the continuous stunts that you get out of the Fredrin. Another option is the Akai that AP Bren also likes.
Let's do a very quick recap here.
Tiger Bruno.
Let's do a very quick recap here. ONIC has banned out Faramis, Matilda, as well as 1-1. AP Brand has banned out Guinevere, Nolan, as well as the Kaja. ONIC first picked the Joy very early on, and AP Brand responds with the Tigreal as well as the Bruno here, where again, the Tigreal, I would say, is multi-talented. He can do a lot.
Yeah.
One of them is that he can actually slow down the jungler.
Yeah, exactly, because of the push that you have, and that's going to be a problem for Kyrie for sure. That means that they need they need a hero from the roam that can actually match where the Tigreal is. So might be a hero that the Boots, or sorry, Keyboy might be looking towards, like someone to kind of keep tabs on the Tigreal, and that's going to be the Claude and Joy together. I mean, I understand the Terizla, but Claude and Joy together, there's so much scaling on the side of ONIC. Don't get me wrong, they're very strong in the latter portions of the game, but might be too greedy.
Yeah. Especially considering both of them can technically be countered by the implosion, right? They go in, they can get comboed together. Right. And in lane already, it's already a tough matchup. Bruno versus Claude. I've been in the receiving end of a Bruno matchup again when I'm on a Claude.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Not fun, man.
I kind of feel like the Claude is for 2 reasons. Because I kind of feel like for AP Brand, they do respect CW, so this Claude could be banned out. And I kind of feel like seeing the Tigreal, you're kind of looking at a draft that does not have a Minotaur, so perhaps that's also another reason why CW was like, okay, I can use the Claude here. Yeah. But they got to finish things out because AP Brand just now, View was a very big impact, and the Paquito, before it gets banned out, instantly picked up.
Yep, the Paquito obviously great against the Claude when it comes to like some moments of the game. What I don't like about the Claude is that there's that passive that we know for sure for Tigreal. Tigreal actually likes going up against the Claude. It's like a Minotaur, right? Almost like a Minotaur with a second skill, but this time it's a passive. So I'm interested why ONIC went for this kind of play. Obviously, the Claude is great versus the Bruno, though, in the latter portions of the game. But in the early stages, it's not going to be an answer. So I will not be surprised if AP Brent just bans out the Angela, because he has a lot of vehicles here for ONIC.
Yeah, looking at the draft right now, looks like AP Brand are putting respect onto Suns because he is a playmaker for ONIC. ONIC banning out the Boxia, making sure that perhaps they're really looking at a jungler that is not super tanky. And we saw how the Fredrin was very impactful in the game. Will that be one of the bans?
I believe for Kyle Teasy as well, he's been able to utilize the flex pick of the Paquito, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I believe it was group stages or somewhere in the knockout stages where Kyle was able to utilize this. Yeah. But either way, they always go for the FDP.
FDP?
Full damage Paquito.
That's right. They want to go for all-out damage Paquito, which is going to be great versus this Claude. And then eventually the Joy, if they do lock it down. I'm curious, I think AP Brand might just get the few hero on their 4th pick. Yeah. And what else is there? I mean, they might. there are players who actually like the cushion going up against the Joy.
Looking at the Lily as well as Kadita ban is very clever because, like you said, Wolf, a lot of scaling coming in from ONIC. They need a very strong mid laner to actually help them out in the early as well as the mid to make sure that they don't receive a lot of problems going into the game. But what is the safer pick here? Valentina picked up.
Yep, very safe.
I'm looking and I'm thinking, I don't know, a court maybe even? Because wave clear as well?
Yeah,
for ONIC.
For ONIC, for sure. With the Faramis being banned, it's not available. You go either Eve or
Novaria? Even
Novaria.
Novaria is a bit safer though, right? Compared
safer,
to the rest because you are going to be able to have that range advantage against whoever you're up against.
Or maybe they go Angela plus perhaps a Cho, a defensive hero. I think Angela plus Ruby actually for ONIC. Or Rafaela Angela. I mean, they double down in the support because I think that for both the Joy as well as this squad, you have so much scaling. So you're so dependent on scaling and getting items that you need some supporting from your roamer.
The Gord picked up as well as the Ruby here. Okay, the two analysts got it right.
Yeah.
I feel clever calling out the Gord.
You guys are clever, right? The Gord and the Ruby here. The Ruby is going to be quite good at actually stopping any of these initiations, especially the dashes coming in from Keto. But AP Bren.
What if they go Phobius for AP Bren?
Oh, that's going to be pretty good.
Joy, Ruby, Claude.
Yeah, and then just flexing the Paquito in the jungle. I mean, if that's the case, even the play-by-play can call it.
Yeah. They can even hack. I mean,
you can be proud of yourself. It's fine, man.
Yeah, for sure.
People love you.
I don't like the Phobius, though. Like,
all right.
I mean, I get it, right? I mean, it's a lot of damage. You can actually jump in and distract a lot of the backline members. It's good for Snowball, but maybe they want something a bit more reliable.
Yep.
And that's the Martis in the jungle. All right, so the Paquito's going to be going to the XP lane. They know there's a lot of CC on ONIC. They go with anti-CC.
Yeah, looking at ONIC's draft here, I kind of feel like they have to be very calculative with their aggression because going up against a Martis, if you force out the turtle and you take way too much damage, you're going to put the Martis on a pedestal. The Martis will be a very happy boy.
Yep.
Happy man.
Happy man. Obviously for Joy as well as the Claude, the late game is the power spike. And they're going to be really, really strong. If we're going to be looking at the heroes, that's evident on the side of AP Bren. They don't have the best defense against the Joy as well as the Claude, so that's going to be a problem. But in the early stages, that is where this Bruno Martis lineup snowball coming out from the side of AP Bren might be what we can expect.
As we go into game number 2 in the grand final of the M5 World Championship, can ONIC delay the game, scale it up, or will AP Brand bringing the pressure and stop them in their tracks? We'll witness in this game number 2 of this best of 7.
Starting us off already with the crowd roaring again in Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Anything interesting to note down here as we get into the game, Wolf?
Well, I'm surprised that there's no Tigreal invasion yet at level 1. I don't think that they'll ever be considering it because Keyboy is keeping tabs on Ogwen. This is what we said, right? There has to be a hero for Keyboy that kind of mirrors where Ogwen wants to go for. And going in for the Quantum Charge on Ogwen, interesting. He wants to be part of these skirmishes. And Carry still has the Retribution, so it's going to be safe.
He uses it. Retri over Ogwen with a shove back onto Kyrie, but he's still going to be able to dish out some damage. Keyboy coming in as well. Ogwen with a flicker backwards defensively. That's a flicker as well. Don't about Rook King. Keyboy picks up first blood in game number 2. A change of pace for ONIC.
A good start, but again, we gotta see how this impact really happens. What's the advantage of ONIC now having the first blood?
Oh, that's a lot of advantage because now Kyrie gets to level 4 without any problem. They can contest the turtle because the ultimate coming out from Kyrie will be up soon anyways. And the fact that Keyboy had an extra EXP from that kill, that's gonna be great.
Electrifying beats already used up. Keyboy as well with his own round Wolf King, but it's a Mortal Coil, and it's a complete opposite approach, right? Master Assassin for Mr. Recatiano, Super Marco, and for CW, it's that tenacity.
Yeah, we've seen that AP Brand, they really want to win out the lane, but I've been looking at game number 1 as well as game number 2. AP Brand has been putting a lot of pressure inside the jungle of ONIC, but why are they putting in the pressure there?
It's mainly because of the Joy. They don't want Carry to snowball. Kyle TC, despite being pressured, will get to level 5 first, but I don't think that they will have time for this. Good poke coming up from Sans.
Great poke and boots as well. forcing out a Mortal Coil. Calteezy's zoned completely away, but Flapteezy doing the same thing to Sans, forcing a flicker out. Kyrie jumping in, finding the retribution on a turtle as Keyboy dishes out some damage with boots. Just trying to keep AP Brand, their front line, at bay. And ONIC have secured a neutral objective without giving anything away.
ONIC is starting off very, very good, even though Flapteezy was able to zone Sans away. But looking at how Kyrie is playing the game and the engage coming in from Boots, it's very, very impressive. So now, ONIC, even though it's a 300 goal lead, is actually quite impactful here. What do you think, Wolf?
Yeah, definitely impactful. We were talking about the laning, the scaling of Kyrie as well as the CW. The fact that they're not getting run over by the Tigreal, by the Paquito, as well as the Martis, that's great. And Sans, for some reason, again, Keyboy. Oh my.
He found the I'm offended off camera. Few was caught off guard. And Sans just mystic gushed.
Oh, look at the bottom lane here. So Marco having to go back. Calteezy is there. CW, I don't think he can do anything here.
Not much. Not right now. He pops in at Go ONIC as he farms back. But Wolf, they're being kept at bay. The Smartest gets outscaled by quite a bit.
Oh, for sure. Not a good sign, but they can still recover. They still have, 5 minutes to go with this? If they find the opening finally with Calteezy, they can just run over, and then Flapteezy eventually controls the map. That is definitely what AP Brand is looking for.
Yeah, right now we're looking at 2 minutes to 3 minutes. We see how CW is double farming both the gold lane as well as the mid lane. And we got to talk about this. Gord not receiving the farm. Is it still fine for him, Wolf?
Yes, in a way that all he needs to do is to actually equalize the lanes. At this point, Sans, he just needs to prolong the game. That's what he needs to do.
It feels very adaptive, right? The way that they are actually giving CW these waves. They know that Sans just picked up a kill, so that he can afford to actually give a wave in the mid lane. That's when CW decided to rotate over.
Yeah, this is one of the benefits of having a mid laner that is not farm dependent. But let's look at the items here.
Yep, there's the Counter-Strike that Flapteezy has picked up. The FDP, the full damage Paquito, and it's gonna be utilized up top.
A lot of damage onto Boots, and Implosion committed as well. Boots now caught in the I'm offended. He pops in a penalty zone, flickers out to safety, but should fall. The Decimate finds the kill, and Calteezy will give AP Bren their first kill on the board for game number 2.
But looking at ONIC here, they're really trying to trade things off because they're like, okay, if you get 1 kill, we need to get 2. I kind of feel like that's the idea. And the 2 that they got was the buff, as well as CW getting a little bit of farm coming in from that mid lane turret. He's gaining gold fast.
And the thing is, ONIC lost their flicker onto Keyboy. It's going to be a massive battle spell to not have for 2 minutes, knowing full well that the 5 to 7 minutes, that is actually the power spike of AP Bren. ONIC, despite them leading, when it comes to the goal, they should not be that comfortable. And burning Boots as well as Keyboy's flicker, just like that for the trade-off, might not be the best choice.
Not the best choice, but I think that's the only choice that they could have made. AP Bren are doing so well at going for neutral objectives, but also screening the map. They know if ONIC want to look for a trade, and they get the more valuable one by calculation. Flicker Implosion, bringing him back. Now the shove in, but a Mystic Gush does a lot of damage to the back as well. Keyboy gonna be knocked out by the Worldly. I'm offended, not connecting to Decimate does though. TPZ by Boots. Defensive penalty zone to the back. CW finding a trade in the bottom lane. And he will be able to get just the turret here as Ogwen screens him and pushes him back again.
I mean, we saw in the interview, CW can get money, man. He can get the gold. And I kind of feel like ONIC right now, they are fine with giving something up as long as they get something back, as long as it's not a losing trade. Proactiveness coming in from AP Brand, but we got to look at Kyrie as well. He just finished his Starlium Scythe. It's just 1 item, but once he gets 2, once he gets 3, it's going to be trouble.
And speaking of trouble, AP Brand already invaded the purple buff that should be belonging to Kyrie. Then they secured their own. They even got a turret up top. And obviously the power spike that we're talking about for AP Brand, we can now feel it. And ONIC will really scratch their heads with the flicker being burned out by both Keyboy as well as Boots.
I want to mention as well, even though Sans, he was giving away the lane, he has the goal advantage over Few.
Yeah. I guess because of the kills that he was able to get as well as the assist. But ONIC, they don't need to panic. All they need to do now is to defend their lanes. Make sure that the middle is going to be intact. Keyboy and Sans might throw their bodies just to defend that. And then secure the farm onto CW.
And again, looking at the goal earned here, CW is number 1, Super Marco is number 2. But looking at ONIC here, the way that they've been moving around the map is like that they're not sacrificing too much for helping out CW.
Yeah, now they've actually lane swap, decided to do that. AP Brand feels very happy to do that. Flapteezy 1v1 against CW play. Battle Mirror Image going to be used up. Flapteezy, knockout strike, one more shot, blazing duet from CW. No battle spells used up just yet. AB Brand in the bottom lane. That's a penalty zone connecting on the Oakwood, but he gets a massive shove onto 3. Kyrie walks out with the electrifying beat. Super Marco dishing out damage on the boost. I don't bend it into a Decimate. Kyrie with retribution. He misses it, but Kyle doesn't. He finds another. D-Boy falling. Solid in the mid lane. Pressured down on his own tier 1. Kyrie looking to clear out the waves. That's a dive angle from AP Brand. A Decimate, and Kyrie will still be able to walk away. Super Marco gets a big goal on top. CW 1v1 against Flapteasy. Battle Mirror Image gonna be used out. Knockout strike 1-2. CW takes the 1v1.
Hey, why did you bring a gun to a fist fight, man? CW was playing unfair, but we gotta look at the items here.
Yep.
ONIC, what's happening here, Wolf?
It's a massive snowball. The Radiant Armor picked up. It's the first time for Kyle TZ. That paid dividends, and now he's gonna be tanking through ONIC's damage.
Mortal Coil, but a penalty zone will be used in time. Kyle TZ going for the bang! He turns it around. The shutdown goes to the roamer. I would say that's still a win for AP Bren.
ONIC right now making mistakes. We saw the mistake just now. Kyrie unable to secure the turtle. Good thing by AP Brand, they actually reset it so that the retribution was not enough. Yeah. Now what does ONIC have to do?
Well, ONIC will just have to defend once again. Very unfortunate that CW was the one that got picked off. That was great play coming out from Kautizi with the blade armor as well, because ONIC was trying to run him down, but he lasted for such a long time that AP Bren was able to trade it off. With the Radiant armor as well as blade armor picked up by this Kautizi Martis. Now you know that they have the snowball. Definitely needs to secure the first Lord for AP Brand for sure.
The question is, well, we see AP Brand right now with 1,000 gold lead. They're moving as a unit. They're moving as 3. They're moving as 4. What are they planning, Wolf? Are they just wanting to get kills, or they just want to zone ONIC away?
Yeah, it's just about zoning ONIC away. They do have a lot of potential when killing. But at the same time, if they just secure the Lord and then just take the turns, they're going to be fine, because what happens afterwards will be for them to take out the jungle of ONIC.
Well, right now, looking at the goal, looking at the positioning, it is definitely AP Brand favorite, and Flapteasy is doing the most amount of damage in this game. Looks like he's fine being alone. AP Brand doing this 4-1 positioning is good for AP Brand.
It's massive for them. Kyrie looking for an angle, gets shoved back by Open, electrifying beast. Whoa! Kyrie has just stolen it away. Kyle had the retry. He had the level advantage as well. The magical man, my goodness.
Only one time, man. Kyrie was like, don't worry. It was just luck. It was just a mistake.
Holy.
I'm not going to lose the next one.
I got this, says Kyrie. Brings me back to the time where I was able to work with this man.
Wow. Wow.
Just wow.
Wow.
What a steal.
What a steal. That's what we're wowing about.
Every time he's doing that, back in his younger days, you know, he would scream, "Di mo kaya sa retrian," which means you cannot out-retry me.
Ooh.
You cannot win a duel against retry.
I mean, that's the mentality you need to be a world champion. Because right now, again, we got to talk about the situation here. Even though, yes, Kyrie was able to secure that Lord, but we cannot deny it is still in control of AP Brand. They are the one in the driver's seat.
I guess the best part here for the side of ONIC is that nobody died during that exchange, right? They were able to snatch the Lord, nobody died, so that means that they can at least equalize the lanes. Every minute that they buy for CW to farm, for Kyrie to farm, that's going to be great. Great news for ONIC.
So now AP Brand again, looking at the tempo that they're moving. Personally for me, even though Kyrie can scale up very well, CW on the Claw can scale up very well. Late game ONIC is going to be very dangerous.
That's right.
AP Brand, do they have to force things, or they're fine taking it at the tempo that they're taking it right now?
I guess with the hero that they have, they cannot. Like, if they had something like an Arlet, perhaps, they can force things. They have the Tigreal as well as the Paquito, which is a, committal kind of lineup, as well as the Martis. You cannot just, get a kill and then get out. Surely you can because you're fast, but it's not that kind of hero.
But then it gets too risky, does it not,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you do not force anything, don't look for a snowball, then it's completely reliant on the Bruno. You have a lot of cover, I get it, right? You already have a Paquito, the Tigreal, the Valentina as well. 3 amazing cover heroes. But ONIC, they went for the other side. You have cover, we have dive. They have a Joy, a Claude, a Terizla, and a Ruby. Everyone wants to dive. And the Gord, he's playing the best defense is offense.
Yeah.
The best cover is if my team dives in and I deal free damage.
Yeah, because looking at this game, it reminds me of a Diggy, an alarm time bomb. Because right now, AP Brand, hoot. MC Facts, Sky
Wow. Well,
This-
I guess
wow.
he's saying it's true.
King. This is
Yes.
not a Lord confirmed. It's a Lord steal.
Steal.
8 times
8 times.
in M5.
And this is the season, or this is the M series where a lot of people are saying, you know, Kyrie's retry is not as good.
It's so-so.
It's so-so. This is so-so, apparently.
Dude.
8 steals is so. Oh my goodness.
Okay, maybe when we hit double digits, maybe that's the threshold the people are looking for.
my
Maybe they,
You're the Sky King, aren't you?
yeah, maybe they didn't finish their sentence so good, right?
Okay, here's the thing. You want to know my reasoning of why it's only 8 times?
Why?
Because they've been dominating the map so much.
You're right.
They
Wait.
don't have the opportunity to steal. They just claim it for themselves.
And still 8 times.
So only a few teams give Kyrie the opportunity to even steal it because they started it.
And to think that they're dominating so much that they actually don't lose so much games. Actually, their only loss might be against the Blacklist, right? And one
Yes,
against
yes.
In the knockout stage.
The knockout
Wait, in the
stage.
entire tournament, the only game that they lost.
They had another 3-1, I believe.
No,
Remember
it was-
the 1-1 from See You Soon? When they were turned around?
Hey, look,
I
man,
believe it was 2-0, bro.
I got
Check
ADHD.
this
I
out.
can't remember anything much, but right now we're looking at the players again. Thank you very much to all the audience here in the venue as well as watching at home. We are gonna provide the best, I would say, services for the players to make sure that they are having a good
yeah,
time in game. But either
That's
way,
right.
right now, again, AP Brand, back to the topic.
Yep. No losses from ONIC.
They've only dropped to the
Against
2
Black-
PH teams. 2 games against Blacklist, 1 game so far in AP Brand.
Yep.
The Atas Langit Adonic.
Yep.
That's how you beat the Sky Kings.
What does
you
that
gotta
mean?
be untouchable.
What does that mean?
There's the sky, and then above that, there's ONIC.
Yeah, that's basically the
Yeah.
Yeah, the Atas Langit Adonic.
Above the skies,
There's
where
ONIC.
ONIC lie.
flashback to MSC 2021. That's the gist of it. LaFell, you just gave us the gist of it.
You know what? The first time I met you, that was the first thing you said to me.
Yes.
The gist of it.
And now you know why.
That's
why we're working
that's-
together now.
That's where our friendship began.
We got that
With the
connection.
gist of it.
Yeah, the gist of it.
Our connection is special, guys.
Yes,
agree.
we are special indeed. In fact, this whole desk is special.
Yeah. With a special connection as well. That's right. That's the title of the podcast.
Oh,
With
my
Beer-
God. He had to go there. He had
Okay.
to go there. He
Check
went from
out-
soft selling to hard selling.
Check out YouTube, find Wolf, and you'll be happy. Now,
That's right.
I want to be happy too.
Me too.
AP Brand right now, is there a good chance that they can end this game in the next 10 minutes?
There
Because
is a
in my
great
head,
chance.
that's the timeline.
There is a great chance, especially if they keep their. I think they have they still have their battle spells, so that means that even in this Lord push, you're gonna be able to defend and then try to make maybe take turtles, and they have the Bruno reaching the critical mass. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, they do.
Oh, here it is. Top player KDA in M5. Wow.
Wow, even Hoon's there. So 14.92 for Sans. TLB. 14.08 for CW. Even though TLB didn't make it, but Hoon has been spectacular with his KDA.
Kyrie's not here, but Hoon is.
Hoon is here.
Kyrie.
So does that
is
mean
he.
Hoon is better?
He is he.
Hey, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
So Sagan is top 5 players in M5.
let me just say, ONIC might be looking at Hoon.
ONIC may be looking at Hoon.
Who knows, man? Hoon is showing up.
No,
Okay, fine. Maybe not ONIC. Maybe BTR. I don't
maybe
know.
that's a reach, but
Yeah, now the question is, right, like, is it stat padding or is it legit?
It's legit, man.
Okay.
I think if M5 or any M series is a difficult tournament to kind of stat pad, bro.
Double digits KDA, man.
Yeah.
Almost 14.92.
Shout outs to Mobazane. He must be loving this asset right now while he's restreaming.
Yep.
Dude, you know what? Shout outs to Mobile Zen. Shout outs to all the restreamers out there. Maybe you guys don't hear this enough, but we love you.
Yeah, you're the real MVP.
No, I think we are. Anyway. anyways. Again, looking into this game, ONIC has a chance because talk us through this, Mirko. The scaling of the Joy as well as the Claude. Oh, and with that, we are going into the game. But you can still talk about it.
All right, so the scaling, right? I mean, for the Claude, it's going to be amazing towards the later stage of the game. You deal so much DPS. Whoa! Just as I
my
say
God.
it, the mirror curse is real, man. I say his name and he dies. And Flapteasy gets knocked out.
To the family
Wow.
of CW, I'm sorry I mentioned it.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. We're
Damn.
special.
And with Flapteasy not even having to commit the flicker. That's going to be a... I don't know what happened, but that's going to be great for AP Brand. They must be feeling great right now. And now, what they can do is to control the long lane once again with Flapteasy, then just continuously siege against AP Brand.
Right now, Ogwen is looking for a target. Sans able to stun him up. Looking at the position here, Ogwen is going to figure out where the majority of members of ONIC is. Having Kyle TZ as well as Few there, they are in position to follow up whenever necessary. But the more important one is, look at Flapteasy. He's hiding.
He is. He's doing a good job at it too right now. And Kaltizi is just going on to the purple buff. Trying to steal away a good steal back, or I would say recovery from ONIC there. Was a stun Mystic Projectile into Kyrie's red tree.
That's right.
Looking at the goal here, even though CW has died twice, Super Marco hasn't died at all. Only a 300 goal difference. That's impressive.
The two waves, I believe, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. The double lane setup that was given to CW. And the fact that they're defending mid, this is the most important resource now for ONIC. Getting the mid lane intact means that you will have access to your jungle so much easier. And that means also that you can position yourself around the Lord later on.
Yeah, losing the side lanes is like losing a sock. And then
sock.
losing the mid lane is like losing a shoe. You can still wear a shoe without a sock, but you cannot wear a shoe with a sock without a shoe. Wait, what?
I think you can. But yeah, we get it,
Okay,
right? The mid lane is more important.
Listening from the crowd, I guess we can.
Yeah, we can, we
All
can.
right. Thank you,
Okay.
crowd. Thank you.
Sometimes you gotta get them to correct us, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but you know, I'm running out of ideas. What can I say? Special.
I think Mirko wears his expensive shoes without the socks.
Hey, don't get to that, right? Kyrie now trying to steal it. Oh, he doesn't get it. Kyle Teasy takes it away, snatches it away from Kyrie's hands.
Hey, by the way, Super Marco went for the RGA Rose Gold Meteor. It's gonna be perfect versus the aggression that can come from Kyrie.
But now the Lord dance has begun. We got to talk about AP Brand 1.3k gold lead. ONIC here, they are at a disadvantage. Sans keeps trying to figure out where the members of AP Brand are, and he's been finding them. Looking at the HP as well, AP Brand, they are chunked down just a little bit because Kyle TZ has been absorbing the damage coming in from the Lord. Keyboy, can he find a good opening here?
Kyle might have to reset this. CW's walking up right now. Kyle Teasy finds a good pinch down, but CW takes in a half HP. Boots doing the same thing. Mortal Coil used up defensively. Kyrie takes control of the Lord. They're not going to look to reset it. I'm offended. Into the Mystic Gush, into the Blazing Duet as Boots distracts the back line. Few very, very low. Not going to be chased out. Kyrie finds a double kill right now. Kalteezy is going to be forced to use the Mortal Coil defensively. Flapteasy went for the hills. The Mystic Projectile connects at max range, and Kalteezy falls. Now Flapteasy was looking for an angle to maybe turn this around, but ONIC, they've taken 3 members down from AP Brenner looking for the Lord.
Run by us. Whoa, what happened there? How did ONIC immediately take control?
It was the Lord Dance and the bait and switch that you saw coming out from CW went in forward so that he will force some rotation from AP Brand. In fact, 2 people followed him afterwards, and that's how they were able to get it. By the way, the underrated factor of the Gord... Ouch.
Ow, man!
Yep. The underrated factor for the Gord is that he can clear the left bush mid with just 2 spells, and you can scout out where your opponents are.
Shove. Ogwen has no dash now. CW battle mirror image to the front. Ogwen forced to flicker out. Flapteasy! One shot with a nature. Flapteasy gets out just barely, but CW does the same thing. Oh man, 7-7, game number 2.
Dude, ONIC has been waiting. They waited for CW. They waited for Kyrie. Look at the items now. This is the power spike they were looking for.
So the 3 items now onto Keyboy. That means that he is not easily taken out. You can see that CW eventually gets to the Wind of Nature and the Malefic Lore.
Dude, right
all
now,
about
listen to the
defense.
crowd. It's all for AP Brand. They're still looking at AP Brand to defend this, but ONIC, with just one more dance, it was 1,000 gold lead for AP Brand.
Mystic
Now it's
Gush.
2.7 with them.
Implosion only onto Keyboy. That's the roamer for the team. Kyrie with electrifying beats. Keyboy finds it offended on the Super Marco penalty zone. Dodged away from him. The knockout strike brings Boots back to the turret for AP Brand to do what the crowd's been chanting. Defend!
Right now, ONIC, they are trying their best to get the resources coming in from AP Brand. They wanted the structures, but AP Brand, how did they How did they do that? How did they defend so well?
That was the Ogwen.
Oh, right onto Calteezy, blazing duet! Elimination can use that Mystic Gush as well! It's a bait! Sans flickers out of the shove. Ogwen, stunned up. Kyrie walking up against 3 members. Looking for the dashes. One more should be able to do it right now. Calteezy gonna be taken low. But Kyrie decides to stop.
Sans. That was crazy.
That's crazy, Sans.
You can see the damage output now from coming up from Kyrie as well as Sans is now. They really do hurt now. And the thing with Gord is that even when it's a defensive kind of hero and it's strong at when he's able to land his spells, it still is a pretty good scaling hero as well. The Impure Rage versus the spells that he has and the items that he picked up, Sans will be a threat in the latter portions of the game as well.
Looking at the damage dealt here, FlapTZ was number 1, but Sans was able to overcome him. And again, he has been absorbing less minions, less minion gold, just because he's sharing it with CW. And now, ONIC, I would say this is their win condition, no?
Definitely. We're reaching the point where they're stronger.
I'm offended. Flicker already. You keep burning this away from Ogwen, and now what do they use to catch? They practically can't. Kyrie dashes forward, forces that Mortal Coil, even pops in that electrifying beats.
Oh, that's a problem for AP Brand. That Flicker was the sole reason why they were able to defend the bottom lane and get 2 kills afterwards. And now that the Lord is going to be available for both teams, I mean, if you're looking at the FlapTZ, he's making the lane pushed against ONIC, but not having the Flicker Implosion, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, right now, the Lord Dance is started by AP Brand again. We got to remind ourselves that ONIC was able to win it out with CW using himself as bait and then giving the opportunity for ONIC to bite back, to go in, to get an engage, and dish out the damage.
And now it's ONIC. We're holding it in despite Joy being seen in the top side of the map. They still want to go for the Lord Dance right now on CW's damage. He's definitely scaled. Conceal play. Keyboy finding with the position of Super Marco. Calteezy forcing his way in. Ogwen looking for the back right now, but Calteezy, his immortality is going to be popping down. That's a retribution from Kyrie. Super Marco free hitting in the back. Boost going to be taken very low, and that's going to be a lot of damage placed down. But Kai jumps to the back with the electrifying beat. Super Marco, one last shot. Should do it, but he's unable to find it. Only an immortality. Burnt down for AP Brent. They're looking for more into the mid lane. A good stun to take FlapTZ lower, but he still has the immortality. Mystic Gush trying to predict the maneuvers from Flap. But for ONIC and AP Brent, who wins it?
Definitely ONIC getting that Lord. But good thing for AP Brent is that they only lost their immortality in exchange for the turret in the middle. So they're still trying to get some kind of trade. And AP Brent, unfortunately, with just Calteezy manning the front lines, it's not enough. You see the damage output from ONIC. It's always a threat. Everybody's a threat now from ONIC.
Yeah, but Keyboy taking quite a lot of damage. And speaking of threats, man, I'm looking at Super Marco. The damage that he dished out was a lot.
Yes.
ONIC, they have to respect it. I gotta say, either CW or Kyrie, they gotta find a way to get to Super Marco and take him down.
A mistake and a costly one. AP Bren with Calteezy. He's looking for more. The Mystic Projectile stomps Kyle. But that's a big, big kill in the 19th minute of the game.
And ONIC, whatever playstyle they're doing with CW, it worked in some of the moments, but in that crucial one, it didn't. What I'm trying to say is, CW in the first Lord fight, he went for the min-max play where he's trying to bait out AP Bren and become very aggressive when it comes to his positioning. It paid well during the first Lord, but not in the second one.
All right, electrifying beats, immortality. Now winner truncheon bot. FlapTZ buying a lot of time. Ogren running in with a conceal. Implosion flicker onto Kyrie, but he buys the immortality. Now Few with the damage as well. Boots still terrified down. I'm offended by Few. Kyrie walks away. Keyboy does the same thing. Super Marco sliding tackle. Onto the front. Keyboy brought back to the team. Immortality still ready. He buys it in time. Kyrie looking for the flags. Kyrie looking for the electrifying beats damage, but he won't be able to find it. AP Bren maneuver out of a team fight that they have won.
This is the best players in the world. Do one mistake, and it feels like 10. ONIC, after CW made a crucial mistake, AP Brand controlled the map. AP Brand won that fight.
Wow. And they have equalized when it comes to the economy. And even after FlapTZ had to utilize the winner truncheon, it was just a ploy for AP Bren. The rest of the members get back. It looked really dicey though. Ogwen might have been like far too early. They see Few not in range, but eventually Calteezy was there. AP Bren squad were able to find something, even in this stage where ONIC has a lot of strength with their items, with their natural scaling.
Yeah, looking at how AP Brand has been positioning as well, you need eyes in the back of your head, man, because the flank coming in from Kyle TZ and Flap TZ as well, it's like whenever you're focusing, something else is going on.
That's a lot of damage, but Flap should be able to sustain back up. He pops the regen, and he goes onto the waves. Does he have a Bloodlust? He doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
I don't think so.
I think it's all from the Festival of Blood.
And the RGM.
Yeah,
RGM, for sure.
So now, looking at CW, we have... Okay, right now we got to talk about this. CW is the aggressor. He's the bait. But here's the thing, man. Wait, do they not know? Okay, Kyle TZ sees it.
They see it. Flap TZ sees it too, but he might be too late right now. They're going to go on to Kyle TZ. Burst him down. Kyle will lose his life. A shutdown for Boots. Keyboy zoning down the members. Boots! A penalty zone on the Super Marco. Holding him back. Now Flap joining the team fight. But Owen! An implosion to the back. CW finally lays into Webber. Flap TZ goes in for the punches. A lot of damage plays down. Super Marco free hitting from the back. That's a lot of damage down. Keyboy! Finds that I'm affected. Super Marco losing mortality. Keyboy will not lose his life. AP Bren, they're still able to sustain back up. Super Marco, no flicker though. Kyrie looking for the assassination, looking for a play. Super Marco steals some life back with that house claws and is able to defend.
Don't offend Keyboy!
Oh my goodness.
Keyboy goes in and he's gonna bring all you in!
A big shot, but an even bigger shot from Kyrie. CW picks the base turret in the mid lane down. Now Ogwen, one member left standing. Kyle TZ gonna be back in 4 seconds. Ogwen melted down by CW. Evolve Lord still crashing in the bottom lane. ONIC taking their time. Kyle TZ holding it down, going for the wave. What? Lord went back and forth. Mystic projectile onto Ogwen, dodge away from Mystic. Gosh, I'm offended. Kyle TZ melted down again. And now it's gonna be 2 members in desperation going in. 1 second on the Flap TZ. Who expected a full reverse sweep? It will never have happened in the M5 Grand Finals. We're back to equal on the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your attention here. There is no such thing as a clean sweep in the M5 World Championship. We're starting this series with a 1-1.
And we ended that game with a wonderful display of duel of mechanics from both of the teams, with Keyboy and Ogwen making their own plays. But in the end,
oh my goodness!
We've done it.
We've
done it.
3 million.
3.4 million!
That deserves a clap, everyone.
Thank you very much to all the audience here, as well as you guys watching at home. And let me just say, this deserves it. This is the beginning of an amazing grand finals.
I'm sure.
A lot went on. Back and forth. Pendulum swings. We need the help of the panelists. Leo and Gideon, you gotta help us out here.
We'll do more than help you out. We'll actually break down this game. Again, ONIC showing exactly why they are a force to be reckoned with. On the road to claiming the Golden Road. Going past 20 minutes, taking availability into their own hands. What a game.
Truly a beautiful game here from both of these teams. We saw some really good moments, but more importantly, the adaptations in the draft as well has been spot on. We're really seeing these teams target each other in the most painful areas, finding those pressure points to make the difference, to find those advantages in the game.
In addition to the draft, again, forcing AP Bren to respond a certain way, play a certain way. Come execution, ONIC is second to none. The way that Keyboy and Sans would set up an almost just 2-man kill squad that would force out resources from AP Bren. Flickers, ults being spent out. It just compromises what AP Bren wants, especially in the late game.
Absolutely, right? But before we even get to the late game, turtle fights were already a bit of a struggle. We did see that ONIC was struggling in the first couple of minutes, and all of this coming down to the flexibility of Super Marco as well as Flap TZ. Full damage per Keto as well, swapping the two and making sure that once he has that full item and having an early game marksman, gives them the flexibility of deciding who gets to participate in these upcoming turtle fights. Not Lord fights, turtle fights. Because if Mr. CW knows anything, once Flap TZ had 2 items, he was definitely in the danger zone.
And that's why throughout the early to mid, it was clear that AP Bren was still playing with fire. They had dynamite in their hands, and by dynamite, I meant a Filipino cannon. But that Flap TZ Gambit can only do so much because as you'll see throughout the highlights, he was positioned in a way that if only ONIC were to bite down onto the bait, if only ONIC were to be fooled by what he was trying to do, then it would work out. That aside, he was just a flanking XP laner. We're gonna award our MVP for game number 1, putting 1 on the board for ONIC. It's game number 2. We're giving it over to Gilak Sans.
Oh my goodness, this guy is still crazy as ever in his name. He's playing a difficult position. Mid lane, yes. Did he get his comfort pick? Well, you would make an argument for it, but Gord, especially once you're up against a Tigreal, especially when you're up against a Paquito, your positioning must be crisp, smooth, and most importantly, clean.
Looking at his item build, something might be sticking out to you folks. That is indeed a Guardian helmet. Something tells me this was but a result of a juggle. This is an item that was built in the heat of battle, wherein this battle mage, this Gord, which has, I don't know, if you'll read it the same way as I did, respectfully replaced Eve and Farsa. He's weaving out of combat. When you go into the late game and you're taking damage, the way that Super Marco's throwing out them balls, you're gonna want to space out and then come back.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the combination of Keyboy and as well as Sans is what's most important here, right? Keyboy is going to try and slow down and peel people away from Sans' position because Sans is the safe haven. He is the person that they can fall back to when all hell breaks loose. Because once they get hit by a single projectile, a single CEC, whew, that gush makes all the difference. You'll see your health bar go from 100 to 0 in no time.
And it's because of what Sans is putting on the board that's actually making AP Brent's movements all the more awkward. You see Kyle TZ here building full tank Martis. Even he can't stand in front of the gush, so he has to be choosy. He has to choose and pick which angle to come from. See, look at this, pow! Flap TZ coming in like he had to dodge. So again, those little micro adjustments compromise AP Brent's approach.
I mean, we eventually have to come to that one big fight at the end, right? What everybody was hoping that it was going well, right? You're hoping that Keyboy is going to get punished in these small moments. You're hoping that Kyrie gets into that backline, but it really boiled down to one fight, especially once things got super even. The 3-man I'm offended that saved it all. And even prior to that, the blockage of the champion stance jabs from Flap TZ, literally making all the difference.
And it seems like now we're looking at a new roaming matchup. In the making, a rivalry between a roamer that displaces the whole team and another roamer that displaces the whole team, the Ruby and the Tigreal. We're gonna see more of these two heroes in the future because there's a few left in this series. We're just at 1-1. Real quick, Gideon, come on over. I wanna talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
You know who got the MVP here? The Season 11 MVP of MPLID.
Dude, I heard that this guy, he moved from jungle back into mid.
He was once in a rivalry against Kyrie, and
what?
Since then, Season 9, he had a 100% win rate on a Fanny.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's Gilak.
That's Gilak? He's Gilak Sans. But when we look at the overall emblems, we see how some of these small moments make the difference, right? Number 1, right down here. Guys, the laning has changed. It has evolved to a certain degree. Master Assassin on both side laners. This is what's making the difference. And this is why Mr. CW gets one shot even in the later stages of the game.
He was playing the defensive emblem, the tenacity. That's why he was so open about his BMI. It was so generously used to save himself from both Flap TZ and Super Marco, which was fine because it was actually ONIC's frontliners that was compromising AP Brent. That's why he was okay to just work on the waves and then come in, deal the initial damage so that Sans and Kyrie can clean up. That's why maybe there's a lot of magic defense items from AP Bren.
And even so, right? You gotta think ahead. You gotta start thinking like a scientist. The mad scientist himself ending the game with the Guardian's helm. Again, you don't expect to see your mage decide to go for this item other than the fact that Mr. Flap himself, or arguably if he did get caught by Ogre, which is the worst case scenario possible, he had an opportunity to live. With the extra HP, maybe that's all they needed.
It's this that's actually really frustrating for AP Bren. I could imagine there was a solid amount of time when they were in the lead and that it seemed like the Lords belonged to them. But that's why their long lane control relied so much onto Flap TZ getting it right, because not a single Lord went their way. With that said, you're looking at the post-game stats here. A lot of damage coming in from CW. This is spread out between heroes and waves. You have CW also farming his mind out 803, and Kyle TZ using his iframes, using his build, and just hopping in and out of combat to be AP Brent's sandbag.
I mean, that's just the next level after you've been practicing your mind out, right? And we've a look at the damage taken. Kyle, he understands his role, and the same goes for Ogwin. They're the punching bag of this team as much as you would like to believe. But even more so, Good Guy Boots is throwing away his life, and I would make an argument that it's an interesting trade. He's using the penalty zone to start off fights, to slow people down, just so that Kyrie can even the score, and more importantly, be able to prioritize neutral objectives.
Check this out. CW was actually third in most damage taken from ONIC Indo. And what that means is he almost just barely gets away with his life. And that's because of his smart use of his battle spell and his BMI. Now back to the damage dealt story. Of course, a lot of it was on Super Marco, a lot of it was on Few, but when you're playing with a lineup that actually compromises your spacing, which the Valentina is very reliant on, it's kind of hard to lean on that. It makes Few play only a certain way when ONIC allows for it.
And the worst part, once you start playing into these lore dances, information is super important. And unfortunately for Few, his abilities are quite short range if you're comparing it to the extra bounces that you get from the Mystic Projectile at times. And